Welcome, everybody, and welcome to all of you, too. So we're going to start with the daily routine right away, okay? So, everybody on your feet. And you can take one hand, put it on the opposite shoulder. I'll bet you're learning that now. And just pull across, right across your shoulders to the opposite hip. And make sure you're breathing. Turns out breathing is really good for you. Okay. And now we're going to do the 4 thumps on the cheekbones for grounding. And on K27 to make sure that your energies are all running in the right direction. And then the thymus thump for your immune system, and spleen meridian to help you metabolize. And we're going to do a cross. Now it is the way you can posture. Okay? I'm going to do the long way. So I'm going to sit down. And you're going to put the right foot over the left knee, left hand around the ankle, right hand around the bottom of the feet, and breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Lifting up on the in-breath. One more time. And put the leg down, and the other leg goes over the leg. Right hand around the ankle, left hand around the bottom of the feet. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. By now, it must be feeling more familiar to you. And that's really good because you're building habits in your body. And if you knew the alternative when you took this one, you know that you would have done that right now. Yes. Okay, now take your fingers, put the pads of your fingers together, your thumbs here, and take it in the same way, in through your nose and out through your mouth to lift your body. Now bend your fingers into your forehead, push in hard, pull across to your temples, and let them go. Okay? Now we're going to do the crown pull. You just continue on from where you were, under the hairline, push in, and pull across. And then follow across the top of your head, push in, and pull apart a slight ways. Just continue across the top of your head. And go across the back side of your head. And then you get to your neck, push in on your neck and come to the side of the neck. And then finally on your shoulders. Just push in hard, drag them across, and land on your heart chakra. All right, now we're going to neurolymphatic reflexes. I always do this one. It's just because central meridian neurolymphatics right here on your chest where the arm attaches to it really opens up the flow for all of the neurolymphatics. And it tends to get clogged in the beginning. Yes. And any kind of vulnerability, emotions, feelings, anything can get this one. Okay, now we're going to our skin. First, massage it really, really well. I will choose today underneath our breasts. You take your thumb and just go right on your bra line, guys. Okay. And now let's do our lymphatics on the side of our legs, the large intestine. And notice if they hurt. If they hurt, you need it. Okay? Okay. And now you're going to lift yourself up. If you have an affirmation, it's a good time to put it in. And then you're good. And if you want, do governing as well. Go up the back of the spine. Take it up to where you can reach. Go over the head, over the nose to the top lip. absorb information. Everything is open and flowing right now. Okay, onward. All right, today we're going to learn about chakras. But before we do, we're going to talk just a little bit about meridians, because meridians feed into the chakras, and chakras feed the meridians. So they really have a synergistic relationship with each other. And what I'd like to do is have us all trace our meridians. We're going to trace our own. And tracing meridians, first of all, I don't expect anybody to know it after just one time. You have to make the goal of learning how to trace your own meridians. But it's not hard. It's very easy. You can come back to this space and do it again and again until you finally have it. But if you're a traveler, you go traveling around the world, you're going to want to know how to trace your meridians so that you don't get jet lagged. Okay? And it's good for many other things as well. As if you work on a night shift, your rhythms get off. Your everything gets off. So these are great. When I was raising my kids and they were little, I remember very well when Tanya or Dottie would say to me, "Let me trace your meridians, Mom." That's when I was off. And then I'd be back on again. So I love meridians. And just as a reminder, the energies on your hands are electromagnetic. So if you align your energies up with somebody else or yourself, you will move the energy. You will shift whatever needs to be shifted. So that's what we're going to do. Since you've already done the daily energy routine, your body's ready to go. Okay? If you haven't done that, it's a good thing to have done just the 4 thumps. Okay? All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start from the time of day. But before we do the time of day, we're going to always start with central and governing and end with central and governing. And then you go to the time of day that you will find on your meridian wheel chart. So right now, it is 4:30, so that's between 3 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's bladder time. So that's what we're going to do. Everybody stand up, and we're going to do, and again, just rub your hands together hard and shake them off so your hands have sort of come to neutral. And we're going to zip ourselves up to the bottom lip. And then governing. Straight up the tailbone and feet it up to the place that you can reach. Go over the head, nose to the top lip. All right, now bladder meridian starts in between the eyebrows, goes up over the crown of the head. Now reach down your neck, and then reach up to the place that you can go, and then go down either side of the spine to below the waist, jog in and up and around the waist, and then in and around the gluteus max. Now leave the meridian and come up as high as you can towards the outside shoulder. And go straight down the body to the knees, in at the knees, down to the floor, and off the baby toe. And then you're going to rock to the sides of your feet. And start underneath K1, right at the bottom of the ball of the foot. Come up to the side of the feet. Circle behind the inside of the ankle bone. And zoom straight up to K27. And buzz yourself when you get there. Okay? All right. Circulation sex starts at the outside of the nipple, over the shoulder, and off the middle finger. Outside of the breast, and straight down the inside of the arm and off the middle finger. Now shake it off every now and then. Now turn the hand over for triple warmer. Start at the ring finger. Go straight up the arm to beneath the ears. Follow the ears around and behind and end at the eyebrow. And the other side. Straight up the arm from the ring finger. Straight up around the ears and end at the eyebrow. Now we're at gallbladder. Gallbladder starts right where you left off. And so it just drops back to the opening of the ear. Goes straight up about 2 inches. Circle forward on the temples and drop back behind the ears. Forward again over to the forehead. Back over the crown of the head. And reach up and go forward on the rib cage. Back on the waist. Forward on the hips. Straight down the legs. And off the 4th toe. Liver starts at the inside of the big toe. And go straight up from there. And straight up your legs, flare out at the hips to the side of the rib cage, back underneath the rib cage in line with the nipples. Lungs, over the shoulder and off the thigh. Thumbs over the shoulder and off the thumb. Large intestine starts at the pointer finger and goes straight up the arm to beneath the nose and out to the flare of the nose. Pointer finger straight up the arm to beneath the nose and out to the flare of the nose. Stomach starts underneath the eyes, drops to the jawbone, circles up the outside of the face to the forehead, comes down through the face to the collarbone, out slightly, over the breasts and at the waist, out at the hips, straight down the legs and off the second toe. Spleen starts at the inside of the feet at the big toe, straight up the inside of the legs, flaring out at the hips, up the side of the rib cage, and down to the bottom of the rib cage. Heart starts underneath the armpits and goes up the baby finger. Underneath the armpits and up the baby finger. I always tend to really sort of twist it or pull it at the end. Turn the hand over for small intestine. Start at the baby finger. Go straight up to the shoulders. Drop back on the shoulder a bit. Over to the cheekbones and back to the opening of the ear. Baby finger to the shoulder. Sit on the shoulder and just push where your middle finger reaches. Over to the cheekbones and back to the opening of the ear. Now, we're back to bladder. So you start right here in between the eyebrows. And you go over the head and reach as far as you can, reach behind, go down either side of the spine to below the waist, then in and around the gluteus max. Leave the meridian, go to the outside of the shoulders, go straight to the knees, in at the knees, down to the floor, and up the baby toe. Now you're going to zip up one more time, central, and one more time, governing. Ta-da! You just traced your own meridians, and I cannot tell you how good that is. Now, we're starting on bladder time, which is between 3 and 5 p.m., because that's the time that we are in right here. But wherever you live, wherever you are, you might be in a completely different time zone. So you will see the time zones on that meridian wheel chart that you have, and you will see which time to begin. Now, to go along and do it with us is just fine. Even though we've started on our time zone, that's okay. But as you start to learn it, then move to your time zone. And that's the best way to do it. I want to show you how easy this is and how fast. Now, in the beginning, you're learning something, so it takes more time. And I described it as we went. But say I'm flying to London. I'm flying to London, and I get to London, and London is on a different time zone than me, and where I left home in California. So I'm reaching London, and I'm going to trace my meridians. So the first thing I do is I would do the 4 thumbs, okay? And I can do it fast. And then let's see. I'm going to pretend London is on. I'll just say heart time, okay? No, I'm going to make it spleen time. London is at 9 o'clock in the morning. So here, I'm just going to zip myself. And then I'm going to spleen, heart, small intestine, bladder, kidney, circulation, sex, triple warmer, gallbladder, liver, lungs, large intestine, stomach, spleen. Oh, I just overlapped spleen again. You always want to overlap the first one you start with. And then I'm at central and governing, and I'm out of jet lag, and I'm on my way. Okay.
Now we're going to move into our topic for today, which is the chakras.
Oh, I love chakras. I mean, I love them. They are endlessly informative of what's going on in the person's body and in their soul and in their spirit. It crosses all lines from mental, physical, spiritual, all of it. Emotional, did I say? So I really love chakras. And we're going to literally do a session on chakras today. And everybody in here is going to do them. And for those of you at home, if you do not have a partner, if you can return with a partner sometime and watch this part again, you can really learn it. You can do the things all about the chakras anyway.
So chakras, you've heard the term. It's big in yoga. It's a term that's really come into our culture. But what does it mean? And what do the chakras do? The chakras have three major functions. They have physiological functions, they have psychological functions, and they have spiritual functions. Now, their physiological functions are the easiest to understand because if you think of the chakras as energy pools of energy, the meridians are like rivers of energy, the chakras are pools of energy. And they sit in a particular part of the body. As you'll see, there's 7 major chakras, many minor chakras, but 7 major ones that sit at these parts of the body. If you think of them as pools of energies, they're bathing the organs that they're situated over. They're bathing those organs with energy. And so that's the most basic way to understand chakras, is that the heart chakra is feeding the heart, okay? And it's actually feeding all the organs in this area. So each chakra has numerous organs that it's feeding, and that's the physiological function. If that chakra is clear and clean, that organ is getting clear, clean energy. If the chakra is murky, if it's really been disturbed in some way, then the organs that are beneath that chakra are not getting clear, clean energy, and that harms them. So it may be much more subtle than an illness, but it may be that you're just not at your best along the lines of what those organs do. The psychological functions of chakras are very interesting. Particularly, I found them as a clinical psychologist to be amazing because I had no concepts like this. Each of the chakras has a different behavioral psychological function. So the first chakra, the root chakra, that's about safety and survival. And the second chakra is about creativity, about your unique expression in the world. The third chakra, the solar plexus chakra, is about your identity. It is the chakra that has to do with what you have to do, who you have to be. It's the chakra that really pushes out into the world in a particular way. The heart chakra, which is the fourth chakra, is about love and connection. But like love often turns, it's also about grief and sadness. The fifth chakra is at the throat, and it's the chakra of expression. The sixth chakra is at the crown, it's the chakra of perception. Well, perception because it's over your eyes and your ears, but it's also the chakra of extrasensory perception. It's the chakra that tunes into other energies in your environment and picks up and reads those energies. And the seventh chakra is connected to the heavens. It's the crown chakra. It's the chakra where you really are connecting directly into the heavens, directly into that which is beyond your personal self. Now, what was really new to me as a psychologist was Donna saying that the chakras have memory, that they hold information. They hold information about a person's past. And the first time that I really understood that was when she told me about a woman she worked with. And she was working on the chakra, doing the kinds of motions you'll be doing. And suddenly Donna is feeling enormously sad. She's just crying, and she just doesn't quite understand it, but she's feeling the energy in this woman's heart chakra. And the woman who's, come to her for help doesn't understand why her healer has just broken into tears and is crying. So Donna just kind of keeps moving the chakra, and she finally says, I feel like I'm about 6 years old and I've lost the most important thing in the world to me. And it turned out that this was when the woman's brother died, her big brother, who she looked up to so much. And Donna had said, it doesn't feel like a parent, but it feels so so important. And as she said that, then the woman is suddenly in that, and she's the one that's in tears. And what often happens in these early losses is that they never get fully processed, they never get resolved. And so it's sitting there in the chakra, that unresolved energy. And as Donna worked the chakra and the woman was conscious of what was going on, that began to get resolved. And in fact, what happened was that afterwards, it changed her relationship with her husband dramatically, because she had never again been able to love as fully as she loved her brother. That just kind of closed off there. So love had a block to it. And after the chakra clearing, she was able then to open up to her husband in new ways. So it was really very transformative. So in each of the chakras, going along with the theme of that chakra of safety, of creativity, of power in the world, of connection, of expression, of perception, and of larger connection, there are memories of what happened in your past that had to do with that theme. So every emotionally significant experience gets coded in one of those chakras, and the chakra that corresponds with the theme of that experience. So that's very interesting to understand psychologically. But then there's another function of the chakras, which is a spiritual function. And it's not only the spiritual chakra, the crown chakra, that has a spiritual dimension to it. Each of these themes has a counterpart in the universe. It's a kind of a strange concept. Carl Jung talked about it as archetypes. He talked about that there is in the atmosphere, in the field that surrounds that surrounds us, there is a archetype, there is a kind of energy, sometimes it's referred to as a morphic field, that governs that theme. So there is your personal love for somebody, but there's also the archetype of love that human beings can tune into. And that archetype actually influences how we love, or how we create, or how we express our power, or how we communicate. And so tuning into that archetype is a way that you can strengthen that quality. Like supposing you have difficulty expressing yourself. One of the ways that you can work with that difficulty is to tune into your own throat chakra and sense out that there is a more ideal way of expressing that's out there, and invite that in. Invite that into your throat chakra. So it begins to energetically impact what's happening in your chakra. And that then can transform your relationship to that issue. So these are the three basic functions of the chakras. The physiological, based on where the chakra is situated, what organs are near. The psychological, based on those things. And the spiritual, based on that which is beyond your personal self. What you'll be doing today is you'll be learning how to work with the chakras as an energy. And Donna will be leading you through a way of doing it that is very orderly, very systematic. It doesn't require being able to see the energies. It's something you do with your hands in a almost mechanical way that is then shifting the energies of the chakras, and it will actually begin to heal what needs to be healed. But more importantly is that as we go through life, the energies get a bit disorganized. And so what you'll be doing first is kind of pulling out the old energy from the chakra and bringing in the new energy. So it's like, again, like we talked about, flushing a meridian is like changing the oil. Clearing the chakras is like changing the oil. So it gets it really clear. And then more healing can happen. Then the functions can take care of themselves. So one other thing to understand about chakras is that each chakra has layers. They have 7 layers, and the layers have different meaning. So the deepest layers are what you come in with, what you're born with, the inherited parts of the chakra. So, for instance, if you're working with your third chakra, your chakra that has to do with power and identity, this is the identity that is really core for you. It even goes beyond what you learned in your childhood. What you learned in your childhood, those experiences certainly shape you, but they're not as deep as the deepest layers. They are more in the middle to deeper layers. That is what was shaped very early on in your life. And then in the middle layers are what you learned more recently. What's in the highest layer, the most surface layer, are recent experiences. But then they get sorted out, they get sorted through. So what are the principles that you can derive? What are the learnings from this experience? So as you process, this all happens unconsciously, but as you process the recent experience, it goes into the middle layers. So those are your learnings. Those become part of your sense of reality, your sense of what works in the world. Who am I? What am I meant for? What can I do? Who can I trust? All that is in the middle layers. So by working with the chakras, you don't know what layer you'll be working with, but you'll certainly start with the outer layers, but then whatever needs to be healed, that tends to happen as you do chakra sessions. So you'll be working with your hands on a partner. And again, as Donna said, if you don't have a partner with you, this is one where grab somebody, and and when you can, get somebody that a friend, a spouse, a kid, a parent, a colleague, and go through this with them, and experience what it's like to be on both sides, to be the one that's doing the chakra healing session and the one that's receiving it. And one thing that you'll find that I found certainly, because I had the experience, like I'm sure some of you out there, okay, this makes sense to me, but I don't really feel energy. I don't see energy like Donna does. And so I'm kind of taking it on faith. But it was when I was working with chakras that energy first became palpable to me. And some of you are going to experience this, where as I was moving my hands over the chakra, it was like moving through something that was real, that had texture and warmth, and I could feel the sensation of it. So be alert for that as you are working with your partner.
So now we're going to get into partner work, and we're going to change the scenery here. All right, we're back again in our new positions, and in a moment we're going to be doing the chakras. But I just want to tell a couple of things, only a couple of things, and the rest of the things I'm going to tell you as I work on somebody myself, because then it becomes apparent what you see and what you get in the chakra. But I want everyone to know that chakras are like your own encyclopedia. It's your story, your journey through life, and your trials and tribulations. They all show up in your chakras. And today, because we do not have a forever amount of time, we're going to teach you how to do this, but keep it within a time frame. So most people probably won't get below the first or second levels, but you can come back to this and do it longer and longer and drop deeper. Or maybe you will, if you do this work on the same person, then the next time you work on them, you will begin at another level, probably. So the other thing so, all right, here we go.
Okay. And I'm going to be the timer, so we're going to go about 2 minutes on each chakra on the counterclockwise position, and then about a minute and a half on the clockwise position. So I'll be kind of letting Donna know when it's time to shift.
Yes, and
Okay.
again, you could take much more time than this, by the way, but this is, you're going to learn it in this time frame. Okay, I've got my patient. The first thing we're going to do, you're going to lay your head this way, you're going to lay on your tummy. We're going to do a little preliminary technique, which is just to clear their neurolymphatic reflexes down their spine. Okay, so if you can sit at their heads or stand at their heads and massage down their backs and clear that first. And you do this with pressure, with real pressure.
Remember we talked about this as the spinal flush.
Yes. Just brush them off. And then I'm going to, well, wait till you're all caught up with me. You can then reach across on their shoulders and drag it across and help that energy to cross over. And this is going to be just a short preliminary, but then we're going to flip them over. Flip over. And one of the things I like to do before doing the chakras is just put my hands at the top of their neck and go into the center point. The top of the neck, the bottom of the head, there's an indent right in the middle. It's just right up at the top of the spine. And just push in and pull out. And then move next door, right about a half an inch on each side are the electric points. And they just clear a lot of energy so that it's easier to have the chakras start moving. Now, that's all I'm going to do on you, okay? Now we're going to test the chakras, okay? You're going to pick up the arms straight up, put them back to back.
So this is another kind of energy test.
Yes. Now, this is going to test, first you're just going to have them hold with all their might. This takes more energy for them because they've got more energy they can hold here. So they can hold stronger. And you're going to pull apart. You're going to say, hold while I pull. And if you do what she does, it won't work. She's bending her elbows. And so you just see if they lose their energy when you pull them apart. And then you're going to tap at 7 places. Now, some places are, personal parts of a person's body. You can do it within about 1 inch to 2 inches. You don't have to tap them. You can tap 2 taps.
You're in the energy field.
Is that right? All right. And I'm going to, she won't mind if I touch the rest of her. So I'm going to tap right at the 2nd chakra. And 2 taps and pull. Phew. And the 3rd chakra, 2 taps and pull. You're just tapping right in the middle of the chakra. And the heart chakra. If I go too fast, somebody say slow down. Heart chakra, right in between the breasts. 2 taps and pull. Are you holding? Okay. And then the throat chakra, 2 taps and pull. And then the 6th chakra, 2 taps and pull. And now the 7th, 2 taps and pull. Did anybody have everything out like I did? And were there just some out? A couple out. All right. So you might even find that if you were, better not. You might drop into the 2nd chakra. I mean, a 2nd layer or 3rd layer, okay? But here we go.
And just on that energy test, the first time Donna didn't do any tapping, and that indicates whether any of them are out. So that is, yes. That's what that's doing. Then you're specifically looking to see which ones might be out with the tapping.
Did anybody else not have any out that's being worked on? Everybody's okay.
So we have the range from all of them out to
just a couple out.
Just a couple.
Okay. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to rub your hands together and you're going to shake them off. Now, you're going to get really tuned in here and you can use 1 hand or 2 hands and very, very slowly move over the root chakra in a counterclockwise way. Some people find it easier to go over with the left hand in a counterclockwise way, but you can do it any way you want. And you probably will begin to feel things. And if you're not feeling anything, go slower. Go slower. You've got to get into the vibration of this energy. Now, I will tell you that if you read in a book, it will probably say that the root chakra is red. But I will tell you, I've never seen anybody have the exact colors that they say chakras are supposed to be. You're unique. These are your energies, not anybody else's. So what I'm experiencing here, for instance, okay, when I move around on her right side, I'm going very slow. On her left side, I speed up. So the energy is very different on each side. And she has a different color on this top layer. The right side is sort of a reddish brown, but the left side isn't. It's very bluey green.
So what you want to do is watch Donna's hands, and she's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches above the chakra. You can see the size of the circles that she's making and the speed, and go about that speed. Now what she's saying is that if you feel the energy, let it guide you. But the default is what you're seeing right there.
Now, I want to say that the root chakra, is about how grounded you are. It gives you drive in life. It often contains your survival issues. Now, I don't know what this is about, but if I stayed here longer, I might tell you. But right now, what I know is this hurts my hands. It's like, anybody else have any kind of feeling in your hands? You do. I mean, it's always going to be different depending on who you're working with. But there's something on this root chakra, my dear.
And you can always shake off your hands and come back to the chakra. You don't need to take that energy in.
So your time. Okay. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to now shake that energy off. Now you're going to go in a clockwise direction, directly over it. Now, sometimes the things on a chakra can be, as David said, that can be physical, mental, whatever. And so I do feel that some of this is physical. It's not just because you can, and I think that that's a lot of the pain I'm feeling in my hands. So when you go clockwise, when you go counterclockwise, you sort of clean it out. You clean out that energy. When you go clockwise, you're putting in and balancing the energies of that chakra.
And counterclockwise pulls out stale old energy. Clockwise stabilizes the energy of the chakra.
Warmth. Yeah, that's one of the things you'll feel. Yes, yes. Warmth is something that you feel because you're in the field. You're in the field. Okay, shake off your hand and we're going to go up to the second chakra. Second chakra is one of my favorites because the second chakra, if you have a client that you're working with for a while and you're working with their chakras, there's something magical that happens when the second chakra opens, because it's like your inner child, that free part of you, that part that doesn't have to take responsibility for anything, and it's wonderful. Yeah, this is the part of you that can laugh easily, that can just be free. It's the child before there was responsibility and stuff. And often in our culture, the third chakra blocks the second chakra because the third chakra is about power and what you have to do and things. So, and that along with something called a belt flow that we are going to have to fix before we move further on you. Okay, shake it off and go clockwise. Now Melanie has a lot of indigo color here, also your pants, but it was, you do have a lot of indigo in your second chakra. You also have this sense of, and this is, I'm just giving you ideas of what energy might feel like. As like it could fall through it. Like it's almost like a wind tunnel too. And it's, I just have to, well, I see you laugh sometimes, but this is even more so where you might really be free at times. It's very nice. Anybody has any questions while we're doing this about something you're feeling, please speak up. Yes. But okay, and thank you for saying that. She's feeling a kind of current, and it kind of goes up your arm. I want to tell you, don't let it get past your elbow, or it's like you take on that person's energy. But so if it gets past your, I mean, just shake it off. I mean, if it really kept going, then go and put your arm under cold water. It'll just move right off. Okay? But yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's like each chakra really is quite different than every other chakra. Okay. Now, before we go into the third chakra, because I've got a patient who really needs it, and I think it's a good thing to do. We're going to clear their belt flows, okay? A belt flow is a flow in the radiance circuits, and it cuts the energy off between the third and second. And to test it, you just take your hand like this around the waist, and then energy test. I will talk you through the energy test. Lift the opposite arm and have the thumb pointing towards the ground. Put your hand, your open hand, below the wrist and pull down. Yeah, pull down. If their belt flow is out, they won't be able to hold their energy. And if their belt flow is in, lucky them. Okay, so everybody, yes. So, all right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna reach around the waist. I'm gonna reach all the way around the back and pull that energy. And pull it all the way across the body on the third or fourth swipe, and then straight down this leg, smooth down the leg and off the foot.
With a very firm touch.
Very firm. Don't be too light, okay? And then on the other side, I'm going to go around the waist and pull across the stomach and down the leg and off the foot. Okay? All right. Just a moment. The third chakra gets more mature the older you get. As a teenager, it really matures, or it doesn't mature, but it begins to grow quite a bit. And it starts blocking the energy of your second chakra. And when you put away childish things that later on you want to get back again. But the third chakra, the solar plexus, governs your sense of identity, power in the world versus power with yourself versus power over others. It's competition. It's what else?
Yeah, I think the shoulds and
yeah, the shoulds, what you should do, better do, have to do, need to do, and the lists you're making all day long. That's the third chakra, and it's also who you see yourself as versus who other people see you as, and it's making your way into the world of other people. So the solar plexus has so much in it. You have your stomach and liver and spleen and pancreas and kidneys, and you just have so much going on here that it's really, really valuable.
do you want to chest?
Yes, I'm going to test test the belt flow. Okay, test the belt flow. First, I'm going to hold, and then I'm going to test again. See if you got it. Yes. Do I need to start over again into the third chakra? Okay. All right. All right. So now here we go. Then we tested the third chakra already, so we're just going to clear it now. We're going to do counterclockwise over the solar plexus. And you actually have a traditional color over your solar plexus. You have a sort of a mellow yellow, and it's but at deeper layers. Now every layer can have different colors. So on a deeper layer, I see some violet there. This is one of those techniques that you will really grow to love more and more, because they so give information. And when I have time, real time, to drop into the many layers, sometimes you're just astounded by what comes up. Now, I'm just going to tell you, just to give you an idea of what, just so that it won't surprise you if it happens to you. Like here I am in the solar plexus, but I feel heart stuff. I mean, like emotional heart stuff. And so there is something that shows up in the solar plexus, but it's about her heart chakra as well, because you can really feel it. And now my hand is slowing down. You might find that you are doing counterclockwise circles at a certain tempo, and then it's as if an energy grabs you a little bit, and you suddenly move at a different pace, and a different tempo. Okay, shake her off. And off to clockwise now. Now what happens for me is I often get visual pictures when I'm in a chakra, and the same ones is sticking around that was in your second chakra. I do think I'm seeing you as a child. Is anybody feeling different feelings in the different chakras? Yes. Uh-huh. Yes, they do. They're all, and it becomes even more striking when you can drop down into lower chakras, lower levels. Yes. Okay, shake it off. And now we're coming into the heart chakra. And the heart chakra, it is what you know. It's about love, but it's also about universal love. And I often see many, many colors in the heart chakra, because people go through journeys of their heart and what life is about. So one of the things you can see in Melanie's heart is that she has a lot of maroon there. And maroon, let's see, think of that Christmas velvet, that deep reddish maroon that's so beautiful. And I always think when I see that in somebody's heart chakra, that they have really learned the lessons of contradiction and love. Like still being like if all your friends didn't love one person, you'd still love that person. And so that's really strong in you, Melanie. You know, and the heart chakra is also the lungs, and it carries sorrow and pain and old grief, real grief. You know, so you might be picking that up sometime too. Now, I'm going to ask, has anybody had the experience that the chakra felt one way and then suddenly, it just suddenly feels different than it did? Yeah. It usually means you've moved into another layer and there's other energies there and issues there. Okay, shake it off and go clockwise. Sometimes you start picking up all sorts of things, and one of the things I say, I can say anything I want about you, right? No. Melanie has been quite a giver. I mean, she's a giver. And you can see that you can even get the imbalance between giving and taking. And she has it. It's your turn to take, so you were supposed to be on this table. I'm going to tell you something else that you might feel on the heart chakra. You can feel it on any chakra, but maybe more on the heart chakra than any, especially if the heart has really learned a lot of lessons. You might find your hand going in a figure eight after you've been clearing it. It literally goes in a figure eight. And a figure eight energy is an energy that binds different systems together. And it feels very good on you. Okay, now the throat chakra is different. It's different. And normally you treat it in the same way you do all the other chakras. Sometimes you want to add something. Like if you feel that the person's throat chakra needs to be opened a lot, I'm going to tell you how you can stretch it a little bit. There are 7 chambers on the throat chakra. It's not just a spiraling wheel. It's also a major figure eight that goes both ways, kind of like a 4-leaf clover. But the main thing are these chambers in the throat chakra. And the 7 chambers, each chamber matches to one of the chakras. So that, you know, in ancient times, this was considered the holy grail of chakras. Because if this one opens, you get all the information from all the chakras from below and below the throat chakra and above it. And before you ever speak, you speak all the information from all the chakras. And that is what we're all heading for. So you can pull, if you put your hand on the jawbone and the other down there on the collarbone, you can stretch the chambers if you'd like. And it's just good for the throat chakra. And you can work a long time on the throat chakra because you not only find yourself, and then begin to spin when you're through with that. But you can work so long on the throat chakra because after a while you might find that, gosh, I can feel a very different energy on one of the chambers than another, and you just want to work on that one for a while. And so it's more than just expression. Well, it's the expression of every chakra in your body. like on Melanie's neck, I find myself like at first the circles were very circular, and now they're kind of elliptical. You know, you find yourself going along those chambers, but you can cross them. You can do anything that feels right. And then again, there's a figure eight going sideways and a figure eight going up and down. Once in a class, I was, you tell me when to turn and all. Now? Oh, once in a class, I was demonstrating this, and when I got to the man's throat chakra, my hand hurt so bad. And he says, well, I've got nothing wrong with my throat chakra. I don't know what you're feeling. And I don't know. I just know it's there. And so then I began saying, well, the throat chakra covers the mouth and goes down. And he said, oh, and he opened his mouth and he had, what is that disease? It's a disease of the gums. He was just, yes, and that was, and so we made him a project in our class to see if we could heal his gums, and we did, because he was going to lose all his teeth. Okay, shake it off. Go the other way. Could anyone feel any of the chambers? Yeah, all right. Mhm. Okay, come off the throat chakra, and now you're going to go to the sixth chakra. So just once again, start counterclockwise circles over the third eye area that also covers the mind, the whole frontal eminence here. And the sixth chakra, you know, it governs, I mean, a lot of people are very psychic from the sixth chakra. And there really is an energy at the third eye. And you really do tap into it. And you can start pulling energy from there. You see, the energy on the chakras climb the spine. And each one feeds energy into the next one. And when it gets to the back of your head, the energy literally bends and goes out the third eye area. And if you live in a culture that hasn't supported that, or a family that hasn't supported that a lot, it tends to go dormant. But many, many people can open this one up again and do. And intuition begins it. Yeah. Now, with Melanie, it's very interesting. I can feel like her sixth chakra is just trying to move up into her seventh chakra. It's another sort of elliptical thing. Okay, pull off and shake off your hand and go in a clockwise direction. I want to say one more thing about Melanie here, is that she's got a lot of energies here in her sixth chakra. So a lot of different colors, with turquoise, and lavender, and a soft yellow. She's just got lots of colors here. But sometimes, if anybody has felt any pain in any of the chakras, it's really interesting. It may not be the chakra you're on, but it takes, when there's a way you can begin to tell where it comes from. But I feel like this comes down from the root chakra, because I could feel that same pain that I felt here. Okay, shake it off, and we're going to go to the crown chakra. Now I have to tell you, if you're working on a man, there's something different at the crown chakra than a woman. A woman, you're going to do precisely what we've done already. You're going to go counterclockwise. But if you're working on a man, you go clockwise first and counterclockwise second. That's simply how the crown chakra spins on a man. And it's also, over time, I found that it's really, really good because it pulls in the balance to their yangness, their yang energy. It's very, very good, but it's also the way it needs to be. So I'm going to go counterclockwise here.
But if you're working on a man, you go clockwise.
Yes.
And Donna found that it's true for any man. It's not like gay men.
Yeah.
It goes the same way as men that are not gay.
Melanie has like a huge bowl on the top of her head. And just very nice. Sometimes the people on the floor, if their eyes are shut, sometimes they see color. Does anybody on the floor see color? Behind, all right, good. But it really feels like I'm pulling up some of the old stuff right up her body and out her crown chakra. You may find yourself, if you practice this a while at home, you may find that you know when you've dropped into another layer. It becomes really clear. It's a different energy, and that just happened on her crown chakra. Okay, so shake it off and go the other direction. sometimes when you're working on the crown chakra, there will be a release, and it'll actually push your hand out a bit, like it just did with Melanie. So I'm back here further now. Okay, now you can kiss them on their foreheads. Come back and we're gonna. All right. When you're ready, we're going to retest them. You know, I want to say there's something you can do at the end, by the way, to help all of the energies of all the chakras come sort of be very fluid with each other, is just to lay your hands on one or two at the same time and just, I'm just gonna let you be there for a minute, okay? And I'll hold right here and right here.
So you balanced all the chakras, and now this is a technique. It's not necessary, but it's a technique for connecting them so that they're in this new balanced state. They're flowing with one another again.
And this is a great thing to do at night, to lay your hands on different chakras and connect them up.
So if you feel like you're someone who's wanting to be more in the heart and not so much in the head, you can connect your heart chakra with your sixth chakra.
Okay, now we're going to retest them, okay? We're going to put back to back and retest. Oh, wow, goody, goody. Yay. All right, my dear. You just need somebody to do all the other layers. Yes.
So,
Yes, you need a mic. Donnie, do you have a mic?
So what you just saw was that Melanie started with all 7 chakras weak and ended with all 7 chakras strong. And she's going to tell you a little bit about her experience.
Okay, hold it close to your mouth.
About this? Okay. Can you hear me?
You gotta be a little bit more, be loud.
Okay. So I just want to tell you something. When Donna was working on my root chakra, I felt a lot of pain on the left side, and it was you don't know that, but it was many years ago. Actually, I was walking across the street and I was hit by a car, and I landed on my left side. And of course, there was a lot of healing going on, and it was a massive scar tissue here. And we released the scar tissue, so I'm not learning to function again. And, you know, there's a lot of healing going on right now. And I felt that pain actually coming up.
Which is what I felt. Yes, we both felt it. That's right.
So I know that within 6 months it's all gonna be fine. So I know that. But it was just very interesting. I'm going, wow.
That's great. Thank you, Melanie. Does anybody else have anything to say? All right, now we're going to do an exercise to help all the energies. Everybody stand up. And I'll tell you what, how are you feeling? Okay, you are the one who said that you didn't feel quite like you were in your body, right? Okay, so I'm gonna test you, okay? You hold your arm real strong. Okay, oh, she's strong to get weak, okay. And now I want to tell you, you did a good job on her. It's just she has not grounded yet. So I think this is going to be true of it. Like if I test your crown chakra, I'm going to test it like this. Hold your arm, hold real strong. Okay, your crown chakra is strong. If I test the crown chakra, 7th and 6th together, she loses it. If I test your throat and your heart together, hold it on your might, you lose it. Your heart, your solar plexus, boing, and solar plexus, and second and first. Okay, so we're gonna fix you.
But show how some of the other ones are in besides the crown.
Oh yes, her other chakras, you'll see the good job that was done on her. She's really strong on everything. But what isn't strong is the communication between them all. And so that's just the next step. So here we go. Everybody rub your hands together and shake them off. Put your hands on your thighs and take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And swing your arms together and put your fingers together above your head. And as you let your breath out, drop your thumbs to the crown chakra, the top of your head. Now take another deep breath in and bring your thumbs to your third eye. And take a deep breath in. Now you're going to skip your throat chakra and come down to your heart chakra. And take a deep breath in and come down to your belly button and triangle your fingers on your second chakra. Now take a deep breath in and flatten your hands. As you let your breath out, just smooth it all the way down your legs and make a figure 8 down here at your feet. Go all the way up. And reach up high, turn your hands backwards, and let your arms come down. All right, now we're going to test you out. Sophie, right? Okay, Sophie, you hold, I'm going to go boing, boing. Yes. So everything is connecting now. Yay. All right, thank you very, very much. All right, did anybody want to know why we skipped the second chakra? I mean, the fifth chakra? It's because it's that same reason. The throat chakra is so convoluted with energy so much. And triple wormer and spleen also govern that chakra. So it's like almost an insistence on that energy that it will direct what's going to happen there. And we can't direct it. Like let's see, somebody. You want to come up here, Jill? Okay. Oh no, I'm going to send you right back, Jill, just because she's trying to come up here. I know you're so good about those things. Thank you. Okay, what I want you to do, let me see if you start strong. You do. Okay, so I'm going to go that way. And now, okay, you're strong on the whole thing. So we're going to do this. You're going to put your hands right here nobody else do this. Okay. You're going to put your hands, take a deep breath in. And as you let your breath out, bring it to the throat chakra. And take a deep breath in. And come down to the heart chakra. I'll show you what happens now. She's going to hold her arms, and I'm going to tap right there at the first two. It just flows the circuits. You don't get to control the one on the throat. So let's just come back up here. Okay, we're going to skip the throat chakra and come down to the heart chakra. And that's all it'll take. It's going to do its work. It's going to do what it needs to do. You don't do it. Okay, so let's see. Boing, boing. All right, thank you. All right, Tanya, we would love to have you come up and lead everyone in energy dance. Okay?
But before we do that, we'll just mention that our next session is about the aura. The aura is an energy that surrounds you. It's an energy that protects you, and it's an energy that helps to tune you into the energies around you. So it's another really interesting and important energy system. So now, Tanya.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.